Uh-oh, we're at playoffs again. 6 of the best teams from Europe doing battle, but we're going in harder. There's only one thing left to do, and that's say, let's go! Cruising into round 1, mediocre rep is overdone, so let's make this a banger filled with lots of fun. But G2 and Mad never leave you sad, even if Caps is playing motherfucking bad. He was a master of disaster, making G2 fall out of playoffs even faster. That being said, he did make K-Droll a caster.
What a ball.
Kenneth, Viego, Syndra and Varus, but not Blitz. That's all Rogue needs to beat the Misfits. Inspire gets Pentas while Razork is doing nothing in the Momenta. Lower bracket Fnatic, Vitality Kill Squad looking tragic. That Yasuo last pick couldn't produce the last breath of magic. Putting Vitality out in 6th, leaving the Super Team pretty fucking miffed. Oh, it's time to get antsy. Round 2, hitting you up harder than a sex-craving girl on Tinder. Yeah, I said that, and welcome to England. Coming in with a rematch from the Spring Split final, they turned this into a vinyl. Mad Rome game too strong, Ro could not prolong the pain. From Spain, izlogic run them over with a motherfucking train. Beating Rogue down harder than they did in Spring Split final, Mad inch closer to the big boy title. Orange, orange, orange and 2 red. 5 games needed to put them to bed. Misfits started up top, but they're instantly dead. 10 out of 10, Fnatic are fed. Rolling into G2, ending in a 3-2. Game 5 they come undone. G2 better modeling Louis Vuitton.
It's Ralph Lauren, but fuck it.
Fnatic are ruthless, Rogue are toothless, definitely not primal as Fnatic return to the final. We are down to 2. It all comes down to this. LEC history will be made. Now, let's break this series down. Welcome everyone to the LEC Grand Finals. We have 2 of the best team fighting squads in Europe doing battle in 5 games. We are definitely in for a treat, so strap on in as we dive into game number 1. Nine and a half minutes into the game, Fnatic and Mad are having a 3v3 tussle in the mid lane due to Adam burning his flash and his ultimate to get the flash out of the Rise. However, when the Rise hits a 3-man spell flux onto the Fnatic members, they are forced to run into the top side river. With this, Viego looks to cut them off via the top route, so Hilly tries to fish him out in the Harrowed Mist with his death sentence. That being said, it puts the Thresh in danger as he hooks the Rise, but he's now technically used his biggest engage tool. With that, I have to commend izlogic in this play, as he does not burn his Spectral Maw, and he waits for the Thresh to use his Flay in order to go for the stun move. And that comes out when Kaiser jumps to the Viego. And as such, the Flay comes through, Spectral Maw comes through, that's gonna force Hilly to flash. But now it's time for Niski to get outplayed by the Spanish train izlogic. He uses the Heartbreaker in a buffered manner so that when the Petrifying Gaze comes through, he is using the ultimate that makes him unstoppable, getting onto the Thresh, landing the last auto to stack up the concussive blows, and an easy pickup of the support's life goes over to the Mad Jungler. Now it is time for the Ruin King to retreat back to his castle, as Adam tries to dive in aggressively onto the Mad Lion's backline. But don't you think Mad know this? that he wants to do this, and Kaiser immediately pops an exhaust onto him, thanks to the fact that Adam has literally just used his clone to gap close, so he's bound to get the right target with the exhaust. Now slowed down, outputting not enough damage, Elyoya gets to live as he gets himself his first transformation in the fight, thanks to Humanoid picking up the kill. From here, Fnatic are pressed up to the top lane. They're being choked out of the map. And with the roam game being so strong from the Mad Lions, the Realm Warp comes through, taking Braum up to the thick of it. But this is kind of where Bwipo tries to be a bit clever and turn it around onto the Rise, who did not take the Realm Warp, and as such is kind of on his lonesome. And he is until he isn't, as Braum just immediately stand behind me too. The Rise, allowing the concussive stacks to be popped into a stun, and goodnight Bwipo. And all that leaves is Nisqy to get jumped on and boomeranged to death by Armored. And that ends the fight in a 4-0 in favor of the Mad Lions, and game 1 going over to the Spring Split champions. Who does not love a level 1 team fight? And we are going to be dropping in very quick, using the replay to actually see what exactly happens. In essence, Gold Card is primed by Nisqy, lands it onto Elyoya, he's stunned down, he just gets bopped quite low, and he's forced to back away. Then it's just a combination of an Ignite ticking down onto the Sylas, and then the Facebreaker pulling in the Viego, who was already dropped incredibly low, to get bopped by the Vayne, auto-attacking them down. Pretty simple teamfight overall by Fnatic, using the advantage of Mad clumping together, giving over a ton of easy AoE damage down to the Fnatic side, as well as allowing the Vayne to get an early lead that balloons the game into a 30 kill game where upset pops off. So, game number 1 was Mad favoured. Game number 2 was a bit of a stomp by the Fnatic squad. But game 3, it's close all the way up until the 24-minute mark, where Fnatic think they managed to secure a pick onto Hansama Ziggs thanks to a lovely Everfrost stun from Nisqy's Sylas. But what happens when you dive into this Mad Lions comp? Well, the Thresh and the Sylas, as they're going in, get bodied as Lee Sin tanks the death sentence. And as the Thresh closes the gap with the second activation, he just gets absolutely bodied. What's more, as Sylas uses his absconded duck to get in and finish off Hansama, it essentially means he is also signing himself up for death, as the Cho'Gath obviously feasted onto the Ziggs' body. So technically, Nisqy going in that deep was kind of a bit of a mistake, because guess what? The entire Mad Lions lineup haven't been touched, and they can just use their AoE damage from the Gangplank and the Orianna and the Lee Sin to just lock you down and decimate your health bar. And as such, that's what we end up seeing, and then end up seeing the Mad Lions pick up game number 3, etching themselves to championship point. So, Game 5 is not gonna happen. Game 4 is where it ends, and I was wishing for 5, let's be honest. But we ended up with 4, which is the second best thing, especially because we got to see the two styles of these two teams come out onto the Rift. Game 1 was all the Mad Lions style that they've played through playoffs. Humanoid on the signature rise, roaming between lanes, affecting the map, and then just decimating the Fnatic squad in teamfights. Game number 2 was the polar opposite. It was the Fnatic style, with the roam game from Nisqy on the TF, using the gold cards to CC down targets to allow upset to carry the rest of the game. Game 3, we saw the playbook get thrown out of the window. No more of the two roam game styles. It was a bit more siege heavy from the Mad side, with the Ziggs and the GP wanting to split push the entire map. Christ, when the team fight we just broke down happened, what did Elyoyo immediately do? While his team stayed bot to contest Fnatic, he went off to mid lane, split pushing. Yeah, you could see the Fnatic team get angrier and angrier during that game, as the game was so close, but it slipped out of their hands. And Game 4, well, let's just say the slipping out of the hands continued, as, let's just say, the Ice Cube just went straight through the hands, no grip, nothing from Fnatic, as it was a decimation by Mad, as you have to look at the mid lane. Who got fed? Who got 9 kills, 1 death, and 5 assists? Yep, that's right, it's Humanoid. The LeBlanc into Aurelia matchup is never favourable for the melee champion, because LeBlanc can just burst you out, she can affect the rest of the map a lot better than the Aurelia can in terms of speed and movement between lanes. And when you have Elyoyo playing for the top half of the map, getting them kills everywhere, you know Mad are winning this game, and then the entire championship from it. Overall, a very solid series from the Mad Lions. Dropping the second game was expected when you see Nisqy getting a signature pick. But once Mad just say, you know what, no one gets to roam, boom, first 3 bans, bye-bye to the Rise, bye-bye to the TF. Oh, what's that? We're switching side? Oh, bye-bye Rise, bye-bye TF. They did not care which side they were on. They gave over power picks to Fnatic, and Fnatic weren't able to stop the pain coming out from these Mad lads who were built in Spain. Now, with this all said and done, it's time to end our last series breakdown. Technically, before Worlds, we do still have one more, ladies and gentlemen. It is the European Masters final. I love breaking down this tournament in terms of the final. So, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new or if you want to. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.